Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the Tuesday topic here on Pace, and I'm joined by Andy at El Pavotti FTBL on Twitter, although you all know him. And he's that regular. Might get his own email. If
maybe,
you're good.
Maybe.
If you're good.
Maybe.
Ross, you know the way you were moaning? Yeah, I've downloaded your video, and here it is.
Quick one. Supposing the transfer window closed tomorrow, and we were left with the squad we have, and all we could do for the next month was sell, right? And we didn't, and we actually got rid of all the shit that was left, yeah? And there's quite a bit of it. Where do you think we'll finish this season with just this team we have now?
Ooh, Ross throwing bombs in amongst Evertonians there.
Bomb, yeah.
Just there. Cat amongst pigeons, and what if we don't sign anyone? 9 days to go of the transfer window. Are you confident Everton will do some business?
Yeah, that, you know, as I've said before, it's just a slow market at the moment. People, Man United haven't signed anyone, Arsenal haven't signed anyone really. The deals are all in process. So as I've said to people before, we've probably spoke to the agents. We've spoke to the clubs. We it's just all about sorting out structures of bids and how much teams want this year up front. It takes time for all that. It's not something that happens overnight, except on deadline day, where teams basically agree in principle, a deal, a framework of it, and then complete it really probably after the fact really. But them the type of deals you prefer to do them over the longer term, so you can get the right structure for Everton in that case. And so I just think people need to be a bit patient. We signed as many players in less time last year, I think. So it's just a bit of patience.
I think people get worried because they'll look and say, you know, obviously we brought in Jonas Larsson, we brought in Andre Gomes and Fabian Delph so far, and a lot have gone out, you know, Vlasic and Lookman and Garner and
Williams
people like
that.
And people look and go, well, we've had all of this time to do deals and we haven't done any, or we've done only a few. How is it possible to get so many done in a short space of time? But again, it's the old iceberg thing with a deal, isn't it? That most of it's concealed before it gets out. Obviously, we know the Wilf Zaha stuff's got out because of his agents and trying to get Arsenal to bid, and obviously Everton have probably nodded and gone, well, you know what, if it's not too expensive, we'd like him. Yeah. We don't know what will happen with that. There's conflicting reports. And again, those conflicting reports will be part of the game playing as well.
People feed the different information,
yeah, well, we're moving on because he's too expensive. And then the Palace go, we might have an unhappy player here. Zaha himself is like, I don't want to stay here another season. I've said I want to leave. Blah, blah, blah. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But obviously, Ross's question is regarding if the window's shut today and Fabian Delph was the last person through our door, how do we feel Everton will get on this
So basically, you're talking about Pickford in goal, Dean left back, Coleman right back, two centre halves, Amina and Keane, centre midfielder Delph and Gomez, with your wingers being Bernard, Charleston, Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front, with Gilsey Sigurdsson behind. I'd still, you know, I'd still fancy us to finish top half, I guess, 8th, 9th, 10th. We're not pushing Europe with that side though. I like Keane and I like Mina. I think Keane was solid last season. I like Mina. I think he's got much more to give for Everton. But together, they're too similar. Both of them can get caught out for pace in wide areas. You need that player who can cover them, you know, in terms of pace. I think you'd like Lacanouk back up for Coleman. You know, it's a bit risky in case he gets an injury or his form declines. He's getting older. We did see it last time. He was a bit inconsistent with his form.
And then Holgate not do that for you?
No, he doesn't pass the ball well enough for me. I think the different. I know people say, "Oh, he got a couple of assists in the Championship last season." I've spoken about assists before. Assists are all predicated on a striker scoring a goal. You can put 25 perfect balls on a striker's toe. If he misses it, you don't get an assist. So that's not always the best indicator of how good a creative player he is. But the problem with Holgate is, in tight situations, in the Premier League where players are better, his passing's not good enough. He's not going to be able to keep the ball for Everton well in those finals. He's not going to be able to unlock a defence. And he's not dynamic enough on the ball. And I think that is a concern when you look at it. Again, the midfield composition with Delph and Gomez, as we spoke before, they are pretty similar. They are lacking someone to protect the back four there. So, and then you're also relying on, you're relying on players to get better, but you're also relying on Gylfi and Richarlison to maintain. There could be no slip off. That's the issue. So there's too many variables with keeping this. If you get more quality and have more to choose from, you can balance it all out.
See, I've got no concerns over Richarlison. I actually think he'll score.
I think he'll score more. Yeah.
I think he'll score more. I think I see no reason why he couldn't get 20 this season. To be
honest,
he
could do, yeah.
Because he's certainly a player who's always in the right place at the right time, and I think I just think there'll be times this season when he won't dip as much as he did last year. That's just my belief.
No, I think also with better players around him, you get some players in. If we got some players in, I think he will be scoring.
I think he'll do well. Gylfi, you're right. Gylfi's 30 now, still a fantastic player. Weighs in with goals, but he mightn't be as prolific. I think
no, it's his best season last season.
Last season. So, great if he repeats it. Absolutely fantastic. But if he doesn't, I still think when I look at Everton's, when that team like you've just said there, for me, is still
top half.
It's still one of the top.
Yeah.
Outside the top six, it's still
better ones,
would still fight comfortably with Wolves, with Leicester. I believe with West Ham, even though Wolves are going to be interesting, regardless of who they bring in, because you've got the added thing of Europe, and the second season teams are ready for them.
Yeah.
So you don't know whether are they going to perform exactly the way they did last year. We don't know. They could do. They could get better. They could be worse. There could be a drop off. Leicester have done some decent business, but I still think they end up losing Harry Maguire. I still think he'll go.
They get Lewis Dunk instead.
And then Lewis Dunk comes in.
He's all right.
He's okay, but there's a drop off there. And Leicester could really do well, or with Brendan and Arsenal about at the back.
Yeah, it depends.
Could drop. West Ham could do okay with Haller and
full-backs aren't
but
great.
the full-backs aren't great. So there's a lot of teams I still think are like this. Watford are very, very similar as well. So I'd still back Everton to be right in the middle of them.
I would too, yeah, but I think a top half side.
But
it's just whether you can keep the consistent, and if them players got injured, what's behind them, the quality.
And that's the problem when you look at the bet and you'd say
because we're shifting a lot out.
Theo Walcott,
and
you'd say we've got Tom Davis, Morgan Schneiderlin.
But then we haven't got any luck in this
Schenk,
season.
Tosin.
Remove players, and these players might not be. Some of these players, well, I think Tosin maybe might. It depends on what happens. We're still going to sell some players, so you're going to have a very weak bench if it was just the team that you had now.
So, I still think Everton would get top half. I still think Everton could be in the race for 7th. I don't know whether they'd be good enough to get there because, like you say, for me, we'd have to rely on a bit of good fortune in terms of not getting players injured in the final third. I think some positions we can cover for a player getting injured for a couple of games, but in the final third, I don't think we've got anything after the front three who you've just named, and that's really the issue, isn't it? And that's why for me, Everton have to. They're 1 and 2 for me. A centre forward and a winger are 1 and 2 on a priority list for me. I know that people are looking say a centre back, and I know that others are looking say, well, a replacement for Garner. With a midfield that we've got, I can almost make an argument for being all right in midfield, just about with Schneiderlin, with Davis, with Gomez, with Delph.
It's just about okay, yeah.
Right? I can sort of make an argument for it.
It's like a top half. They're probably on par with other teams in the top half.
Exactly.
It's not,
But with that, but the reality is, and I guess the reason why Ross is asking it is, we want more than that, don't we? We want to be pushing that. And this year, and we've said it a lot of times throughout the summer, Liverpool, City and Spurs, because I think Spurs have bought smartly, so Ndombele.
You can add another 2 players as well, yeah.
So they're going to add a couple more. They'll drop up David Neres, and if they can't get the ball around him. And Neres is one of them. He's a flip of a coin. Like Session. Tottenham are in that 3 for me. They're the 3, I think. And then Chelsea could be this way or that way. They've got some good players, the manager.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I'm unsure. Arsenal, great going one way, horrendous.
And not changing that either.
Not changing. They're trying to get Nicholas Pepe in, and they're talking about another.
See, if Tini comes in, he's not improving the defence. He's going forward again, but he doesn't improve the defence. So
there's still a chance to get at them. And United, they're still.
Signing Maguire, but is that really a great signing?
Maguire, is it amazing? I don't know. I still think you can get at them.
No defence midfield.
So you're talking 4th up to 9th being a pack of teams. Now, consistency will sort the men out from the boys, and it did last year. The fact that Arsenal were able to win 14 home games put them above everybody else. So that's where Everton will need to strengthen, and it is for me, it is in the top 2 positions on the pitch. I think it's imperative. I think Everton have got a decent defence. I do. I still think we've got. I think Baines is still decent cover for Dean.
All right, yeah.
I think to do the defensive side of the game, if you've got an offensive team, I think Baines is okay with it. I think obviously there's more emphasis on Luka, but I think we can cope. Seamus off the other side, I don't know. Obviously Holgate is an option. Tom Davis could play there, but I don't know. Kevin Morales, if he's still here. But I think we do a centre forward and a winger, and then a centre mid and a centre back is imperative. And then if we get the right back, which he's mentioned as well, I mean, we were in Switzerland last week, me and Pedden, and Farhad Moshiri spoke to fans and said he wanted 5 players. Now Marco Silva's come out and said 5 players. So therefore, I think you're probably right in terms of a right back on loan, maybe.
I think so. It depends who comes up. There may be a player who comes up and think, all right, we can get him. He'll go behind Seamus for a year. But I don't think they want to spend on a right back yet. They might be looking for someone to have good years somewhere. Maybe they've got someone in mind that you never know. But I think, yeah, alone, because there's a couple of players, Arias, who obviously Brands is very familiar with. And then
what do you think about Arias? 27 years of age.
Really good cross of the ball, gets up and down quite well.
Defensively decent.
All right, yeah.
Who's better than out of him and Coleman?
Defensively?
Yeah. Seamus ain't great.
It's not. They're probably a toss-up, really. The problem with modern fullback, I think you've got to be at least just above average as a fullback now, more defensively. Going forward's obviously much more important because we've seen Kyle Walker, he's terrible defensively, but he's still races one of the better ones in the world. But it is, so you've got to be able to be able to defend your position, essentially. I think Seamus is okay at times. He lost a bit of a step at times last season. The second half of the season, he was much better, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think someone to push him just in case there's a drop-off or the same form issues. And Tete or Arias will be fine. Tete's a decent defender. He can be a bit erratic at times, but going forward, both good passes, both good crosses, and get up and down well. They'd offer something different as well.
Lovely.
Yeah, I think they're not as dynamic as Coleman. No one's neither are fast or as go past people as Coleman. But is Coleman that same player? I think I have the memories of Coleman, coming on against Tottenham years and years and years ago and just absolutely destroying them. But yeah, I think it's time we sort of look beyond, not that we say we replace him now, but look beyond him. But it may be alone in the short term without not having that money to spend is probably smart. Because there is good young right backs in there, but it is probably a shallow position in terms of depth, in terms of signings out there. So maybe they're looking at a player and think we'll see how he gets on this year, like a Salamanca's who's at Anderlecht, and see what he does, and then we'll have a look next season. But yeah, I think alone's probably the best option there.
And obviously John Joe Kenny.
Yeah, he's going to come back. I think that's a good point there. That Kenny hasn't been sent to Schalke just so he can boost his value. He's been sent on it to see if he can make development, see if he can develop. Because obviously, I think people at Everton have always liked John Joe. And, and he's the England's under-21s team still, got played over at Wan-Bissaka, in the under-21s there. So yeah, I think that we're going to see how John Joe does. And next year they'll probably look at right back as more of a primary position. They're going to upgrade.
Yeah. Because I suppose as we go forward in this plan. We want to be getting to the stage where it's 1 or 2 in the transfer window of real quality, don't we? Not 6, 5 and 6. No good, but
it's because of what he was left for Brands. He has to change the squad around, and I know people have said, why did we sign a Scov Olsen or why did we sign players like that? It's because you can't put Everton's squad isn't probably ready to put these in and have to rely on them yet. So we have to we look at players like a Zahar or players like Delph who can come in and sort of settle in straight away. And once we've got that settled side where you say we only need 1 or 2, then it makes it easy. We can pick those little gems out and put them in the squad because then they're just adding to it more than we're getting relied on. So that's why I think as you say, I think maybe not next season. I think we'll probably still need 2 or 3, 4 next season. But then after that, like Liverpool got to, I know people don't like Liverpool, but Liverpool only needed 2 players. They bought a goalkeeper and a centre half, and away they went. You know what I mean? You want to be in that position where you spend big on 2 players to get you over the hump.
Well, taking Liverpool, they built over a number of years.
They did, yeah.
City have done it differently, but even now they're at the stage where it's 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you have to do. I think we have to. Me and Ped talk all the time about raising the quality of the squad.
Definitely.
Whereas if you get it to a certain level, I think that's what benefited Chelsea last year and Arsenal and probably United is that. Okay, they weren't great, far from it, but they still had a level of player. Outside their 11, who was still able to come in and do a job and get results. Now Everton had too much of a drop off, I think, in the past with the squad, haven't we? If we lose 3 or 4, we're knackered. Yeah, it's basically. There's also, I think, a difference in the thing. I think because a lot of players at Everton know them, they're on the way out. Whereas I think at them clubs, I think they're in a big club and they think they're going to get a couple of games. Whereas, some players at ours aren't going to get any games at all next season, and I think that's why the squad turnover is probably not the most healthiest for a club to be in, but we've got to do it. We need to get, on a sort of a level playing field. And I think we're probably a year away from getting there, I think we'll get most of them out this summer, and the stragglers will be gone next summer, and then we'll be ready to sort of push on then. If he brought 5 in, which is, I still think 5, slightly push. I think 4, I can see 4 coming in. possibly 5 if it's a loan. If he brought those in, then the squad would be quite healthy, wouldn't it, if you look at it
So you've
that
got the
way,
11, then you plus your 5, so that's 16, and then you've got your Davises. So yeah, you've got like a 22, 23-man squad there. And then you could obviously...
have a good level.
Yeah, you've got a good level then. And then you only, you probably don't have to have, like, your Niasses and all. You can probably, start moving them all out. That's what I mean. So even the back end of your squad now, be players who were on the bench last season, and that's where your quality's going up a bit.
That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's what we want.
And then if we got to next summer, then you get to next
you
summer.
You go, right, we need a right back.
Then exactly, you
and
look
then, you look
can we
go,
get
we
better?
need a backup left back.
Yeah.
You start looking at that.
Can we get better than him, or can we get better?
Gylfi's 30, someone to come in to push him. That's what, yeah.
Then you can start, I think, properly planning.
Yeah.
And going, you know what, we've got a really good side here. Even if someone like Richarlison next summer and just say he's had another great season and Barca come big for him for 100 million, you start looking and going, well, right, who can we get? Who's a top quality player can come in and replace him now.
That's what Brands did at PSV. He always looked like 2 or 3 seasons ahead. Like this season, they plan to lose Big Iron, they plan to lose Lozano. I've said this before. He's got those players, whether the youth sides or the players he's brought in who are young and they've come in as subs last season. Yeah, that's what I mean. So the replacements are already there. He's planning ahead. And I think once he gets the squad settled, he'll be able to do that, especially with players like Gordon, Gibson, Dobbin, maybe if he comes, Ellis Sims if he meets the.
Well, that's it, isn't it? There's
and he can sprinkle them in then, and it's much healthier position instead of going to Ellis Sims. You've got to score, you've got to score,
because you destroy kids like that.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
That's interesting. Ross, thank you very much for your video. That was great, better than your 10-minute one for a Tuesday topic. No, that was sound, but it's right, isn't it? I think personally, I don't know, let us know what you think, patrons. If we weren't to sign any players now, where do you think Everton would end up? Me and Andy think anywhere between 7th and 10th, probably. Do you agree, or does some of you look and go, no, we'd be worse than that, we'd be bottom half? Because I know there's some people out there who are really worried. I still look at Everton's level of squad and go, we've got some cracking players in that squad, which always pulls you up to a certain level.
As I said to people on Twitter the other day as well, you talked last year, first year under the manager, didn't know his style, zonal marking. This season, the base of the squad knows how to play in that system. So there's more of it's easy to integrate players into that as well when they come in. So hopefully it's more settled as a side.
The other thing I'd say as well is pre-season last year, we knew what areas we needed to strengthen. We were just goals were flying in left, right, and centre. We were horrendous. This pre-season, we've looked solid. We conceded the goal on Saturday, which was a penalty, which was the first goal we conceded. And the second game was from our defence anyway, and our reserve keeper were clean. So the team that's mainly played with the likes of Jordan Pickford in and that haven't conceded goals. Exactly. So we look quite solid defensively. It's at the other end of the pitch where
the money ends,
isn't it? So that that's what we've got to look at. But I totally agree with Andy. If we can continue to bring in that players, then next summer it might be a case of we only need him and maybe him, and that's it. Yeah. And if we do that, we're in a much healthier position. Because we can spend 50 million on a player and go, this summer we're spending 50 on him, 10 on him, and we'll get him, and we can get him for 50, and then that's your summer done.
Exactly, yeah.
Move someone out, and then you start getting into the realms of being able to, drag FFP back into place and everything else. So thanks very much, Ross. Superb. If you want your video discussed on Patreon, just get it sent into the usual channels. Easy. Just send it in. We will discuss it. And you know what? Send your videos in anyway. If you think, I want to see what the lad's opinion is on this, send it in. And me and Ped will do it at a different... If it doesn't make it on the Tuesday topic, or if Andy's, we'll do it on a different day and put it out. Not an issue. Get it in. We will always use your videos. Thank you very much. Make sure you sign up to the Super Brew Predictor League. Lots of you already have. Do it. It's just a bit of fun. We'll concoct some prize to give away to the winner at the end of the season, but get on it. It's free and you can win money every week on it. It's really good. And also join Discord and get over on the forum. There's 210 on the forum now, and Mark, who's keeping it going and having a look at it, says it's absolutely brilliant because there's good Everton chat on there and no infiltration from divvies. So there you go, especially not Reds. Big thanks to Andy. Big thanks to you. We love you, patron, beautiful people. See you later.